Okay, so I'm going to share my slides and because we are talking about perfectionism and mindset. So, how does this next slide make you feel? You are dumb. You are a jerk. You are an idiot. That girl is prettier than you. Why are you such a perfectionist? Why are you so hard on yourself? Will you ever learn to stop? You are addicted to social media and it's not good. You need to have a life that looks like the people on Instagram. Why do you waste so much time and get so obsessive? You're a bad person. You are unproductive. You are ugly without long hair. You are sad and always will be. You don't care about anything. You are so stubborn. Your stomach is fat. I wish you got COVID and died. Okay. How does that make you feel? So these were the negative thoughts recorded from one woman in one day. And she couldn't believe it. She didn't even realize it was this bad. That woman is also you. That woman is your sister. That woman is your best friend. That woman is your mother. That woman is your daughter. So many of us are walking around with this level of degrading thoughts and we don't even know it. And I know this because I've had women write down their thoughts in a day, and it is heartbreaking the things that we say to ourselves on a daily basis. And sometimes we don't even realize it. I've had a lot of women do this practice. I used to do this course called 21 Days to Confident, and that was one of the things one of the first things they had to do was write down their negative thoughts. And so many women had thoughts like this. And there were a lot. Um, so we're going to talk about our thoughts. And if something's frustrating in your life, change it. And you have two choices. You can either change your circumstances, which is sometimes really hard to do, or you can change your mind and thoughts about your circumstances. And that one's a little a little easier, or I would say a little more in your control, not easier. So for me, well, I used to beat myself up so much, and I got sick of it. Like at what I just eventually got so sick of treating myself like garbage and of having these negative thoughts that made me feel bad. I was done with feeling bad. So when I changed my mind, that changed everything. And it made me think of the Hunger Games back when Peeta's talking to Katniss about dying. Like he's like, what if we die? Like we could die in this. And she said, I just can't afford to think like that. And for me as a businesswoman, I want to get, I have like a certain type of, I want certain results, right? And I want to see success in my business. And the only way, I think the best way to do that is to not entertain negative thoughts. Because when we feel good, we do good. When we feel bad, we usually do nothing. And so when I changed my thoughts, I changed my life. So, did you guys know one of the reasons I love disco balls? I have a disco ball in my office. I've got several disco balls in my office. I have disco earrings. Like I love all things disco balls. And one of the reasons I like it, it's even on my phone, back of my phone screen. One of the reasons that I like disco balls is because they were meant to move and shine. That is why I call it the Shine Squad. Um, Notice how when this isn't moving, it doesn't shine as much. We were meant to take action. We were meant to move. That's how you shine, is by taking action and being in motion, right? And so if we want to be in motion, we have to learn to control our emotions. And if we want to control our emotions, we got to start with our thoughts. I love this quote by Zig Ziglar. He says, your input determines your outlook. Your outlook determines your output, and your output determines your future. So basically, your input is your output, basically. So that's why we're listening to personal development podcasts every week as a team, because we want to put in those positive thoughts in our brain. Because as a, business person, we're putting ourselves out there, we're doing scary things, and we need to stay N encouraged, not discouraged. We need the courage, right? And but when we think discouraging thoughts, then we stop the courage, right? And that's why sometimes we end up taking no action at all. So, spoiler alert, you're the only thing getting in your way from achieving your goals. And you are sometimes your worst enemy. And so if you can conquer yourself and your thoughts, you can reach your goals. And if you want to be successful like those you admire, you must learn to think like those you admire. And the people that are the most successful typically have higher level thinking, like more positive thoughts, more higher, like higher vibes, right? So if you want to be successful like them, think of like, a lot of successful thought leaders like Brene Brown, Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins. Is it Robbins? Are there two Robbins? Um, yeah, all of those people have very high level thoughts. And but because here's the thing, negative thoughts are normal. Your brain actually, your primitive brain is always looking for negative because it's looking for danger. It's looking like what? It's scanning for anything that could be dangerous. And so sometimes if it perceives something as dangerous, like the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real, it's false, right? Because our brains are like, oh, this is dangerous. They think that posting on social media might be dangerous. And so it's like kind of be like, no, you shouldn't do that. No, because it's trying to keep you safe, but our brains don't realize that like we're not being chased by a tiger. Like we're gonna be fine, right? So I want to teach you guys something that changed my life, and it is this thought model by Brooke Castillo, who is like makes like $25 million a year. She is a genius. I learned this from her. She's the author of Self-Coaching 101, which is an awesome book. Um, and she's the founder of Life Coaching School. So you might know some life coaches that went to Life Coaching School, and that this is what she teaches basically. And that is the TEAR acronym. So this acronym, memorize this acronym, take a picture of this. And that is thoughts. Our thoughts affect our emotions affect our actions, and our actions affect our results. So think like one tiny teardrop can cause a ripple effect. So think of like teardrop. So ultimately, our thoughts affect our results. Like if you look here, our thoughts affect our results because when we think a thought, then we feel some type of way. And then when we feel a certain way, then we act a certain way. And then when we act a certain way, we get certain results, right? So when we think limiting thoughts, the result is we stay safe in our comfort zone, but we don't move or take action. So here's a thought I used to have all the time. This is a picture of me with when my kids were younger, when I had bangs. And I used to think this all the time. I am a bad mom, and I thought it on repeat. And so the emotion I would feel is discouraged and shame, like, oh, like I'm the worst. And so my action was, oh, I'm just gonna hide and overwork, you know what I mean? I'm gonna basically there's like fight, flight, or freeze, right? Mine was fight. I'm gonna fight by like working really hard on my business at the time, my photography business, and then my kids would act out to get my attention, which would then start the cycle of you're a bad mom, your kids are acting out, right? This is how we self-sabotage all the time. So, here's a thought. This is one of the thoughts we were talking about. No one will buy from me. So the emotion is, well, I feel discouraged, right? And so the action is I do nothing. And then the result is, uh-oh, no one will buy from you, right? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so if you want different results, you have to think different thoughts. Here's some more. And these are all thoughts that I have heard from mompreneurs, women that I've worked with over the years. People would judge me if I show up on social media. So then we feel embarrassed, right? And then we don't show up on social media, and then no one knows about your product or service. So you're not getting results. Is that the result you want? Here's another one. You can't handle all of this. So then the emotion is, I feel overwhelmed and discouraged. The action is, I avoid or I procrastinate, right? There's the flight part of it. And then the result is, well, I don't handle it well because now I'm really overwhelmed because I didn't do anything. I haven't been doing anything. Is that the result you want? And then the thought is, I am undeserving of the life I want. So then the emotion is, you feel small. And then the action is, you play small. And the result is, you don't get the life you want. So this is how we self-sabotage all the time. This is why thoughts are so powerful and why we have to try to replace those those negative thoughts. So can you see how these thoughts could affect your results in your business? Um, so let's see. So I kind of talked about, your brain wants to keep you safe in your comfort zone by avoiding the four U's: the unknown, the unfamiliar, the uncertain, and the uncomfortable. And so it's like, hey, we're going to stay safe, but that also means we stay stuck. And so how we get unstuck is we have to step outside our comfort zone. Okay, yeah, stay safe. We already did this one. Stay safe. So what negative thoughts have you had lately, specifically when it comes to your business? And how have they affected your results? Okay, so we're gonna stop there. So I'm curious if anyone feels brave to be vulnerable. What negative thoughts have you had, and how has might it affect your results? Okay, so Win just said, I have negative thoughts about I can't recruit or I can't lead, but I don't let it hold me back. That's awesome. Which is ironic because Win has enrolled 15 people this month. So here's the other thing. Thoughts are not facts, okay? Just because you think a thought doesn't mean it's true, right? And so that's where we have to like keep our thoughts in check. Um, so and one of the ways to do that is here's another acronym. It's BYOB, and it's not bring your own beer. It is be your own bestie. Okay? So, I want you guys to look at your list. Look at the list that you wrote of what you would say to your best friend who maybe was struggling with some thoughts about their business. And those things that you wrote, those are the kind of things that you need to be saying to yourself. That's how you can stay encouraged instead of discouraged, right? If we talk to ourselves the way we would talk to our best friend or our kids, like when our kids are feeling like frustrated or discouraged, we are always like, no, you're amazing. You got this. You can do this. But we don't do it to ourselves. Sometimes we are, like I said, our own worst enemy, and we're like, why didn't you do better? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we would never say those things to someone else, but why is it okay to say that to ourselves? It's not. It's it's not helping. And so let's see. Someone else said, Danny said, my negative thought, no one is really interested. So let's talk. Danny, do you mind talking it out? Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm
can
gonna
do that.
pin you and I'm gonna pin me. And okay, so with that negative thought, thanks for being vulnerable, by the way. Um, but know that we all have thoughts like this. Everyone's probably had the same exact thought. So no one is really interested. Okay, so when you think that thought, how does it make you feel?
Um, Extremely discouraged. And
Mm.
this thought is specifically for the Bloomin' Bash.
Ooh,
I
okay.
mean, two
Yeah,
people. That's it so far. Ugh.
right. Right. And that is frustrating, right? That's the thing. Sometimes it's like, what is going on? Why are you guys, why is nobody responding? What's like, and sometimes it's hard not to take it personal too. Like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Um, So you said the emotion, okay, so the thought is no one is really interested. The emotion is extremely, you said extremely discouraged.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you show up extremely discouraged, what is the action? What kind of action will that manifest?
For me, um, I start thinking about other approaches or things I could do, and then that feels overwhelming, and I just shut
Mm,
down.
okay.
I'm quick to
That,
shut down.
listen, this is what happens. Almost always the action is inaction.
Hmm.
Almost always the thought is like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed and so frustrated. And then it's like, screw it. Right? We're like, I'm done, I'm out. Like it's the flight. It's like, get me out of here.
Hmm.
Or the freeze is typically. So then the result for you is what?
I just have two people.
Yeah. And then what is that the result you want?
No,
Yeah.
no,
I mean, you can't control how people respond, right?
true.
But you can control what you do and what you
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
So now we're going to reverse it. Okay. So
Okay.
if you want, let's talk about what result you want.
I want 15 people to want to be a part of it. It's
Okay.
pretty amazing.
All right. Wants 15. All right. So then what action would you kind of need to take in order to get 15 people?
Above and beyond what I've already done, the only thing that I can really think of is to just continue to reach out to people.
Okay.
But I feel funny doing that because I've reached out to everybody who's literally I have reached out to every single person that's shown any kind of interest in anything Cleo color related.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what to do unless I start like cold calling people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that feels uncomfortable.
Uh-huh. Have you talked about it at all, like on your personal wall or anything?
I have not.
I wonder if you could try that.
That is true.
But I like that you said continue. It's basically the keyword is continue, right? Just continue
Mm.
trying stuff.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, as long as you know, there have been times where I'm like, I just want to know that I did everything I can, and if only two people join, so be it. I know I did my best. I know I did my part, right?
Mhm.
It's and sort of detaching from the end result because we can't always control how people respond. We can't control how what we think. And so I'll be like, well, I did my best. That's all I can do. And then we move on, right? So continue reaching out. And then so that was we're doing the R was the result was we want 15. The A is the action. The E is the emotion. What emotion would you need to feel to want to reach out?
Confidence.
Okay. And so what's a thought you could say to yourself to that would give you confidence to continue?
I don't have anything to lose. I mean, I really
There
don't
you
have anything
go.
to lose by reaching out.
Yeah. Does that feel good to you, or is there a but?
There's still a but.
Let's the but. Let's hear it.
But what if I come off too pushy? But what if they totally tune me out then?
Yeah.
But then again, I can't really control how they receive the information. It's
Hmm.
like any conversation or anything you say to anybody, you can't really control how they're going to take it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what something I learned that has really helped me is whenever I start thinking what if, I add even if. So what
Okay.
if they don't respond? I say even if they don't respond, I'm still gonna do my part and so that I know I did everything I could think of. And then even if they don't, I know I did my part, right?
Hmm.
Um, so that thought I don't have anything to lose because you really don't. This doesn't define you. The Blue and Bash
Right.
doesn't define your business. Is not like the symbol of your business.
Right.
So, and maybe you could say, I don't have anything to lose, even if, maybe add the word even if.
Yeah.
So, can you guys see how sometimes just even neutralizing the thought, sometimes, people are always like, just think positive, and your brain's like, no, because I have evidence. Like, our brains are always looking for evidence, and you're like, I no, because there's only two people. Like, here's the evidence or whatever, right? And so sometimes just taking the sting out to make it neutral. Like, and this is a random example that has nothing to do with your business, but I feel like a lot of women struggle with this. I was talking to a therapist about like body, positivity, right? And how a lot of women struggle with how we feel about our bodies. And she was like, I just decided one day to just feel neutral about my body. She's like, I just decided to be like, my body is my body and it's whatever, it's fine. And I was like, I like that because then we don't have to be like, my body is amazing, it's perfect. When we're like, but what about this? What about that? Right? But just taking out the sting can sometimes make us feel a little more encouraged instead of extremely discouraged. But the key is, Danny, is that we have to believe the thought. So, do you believe the thought, I don't have anything to lose, even if two people join? Like, do you believe that, or do you need to come up with a better one that you believe?
No, I believe that.
Okay.
I believe that.
How does that thought feel like lighter and more encouraging?
Yes, it does. It does. I think there's always going to be that little fear in the back of my head
Yeah.
of, I hate being this girl, but the one that's like, well, what are they going to think of me?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I constantly have to work on that.
I know. I know. That's what it's like. That's why this is literally self-coaching. It's like, okay, you got this. We're being our own bestie. We're like saying the thing. So on that list that I had you guys, thanks, Danny, by the way. On that list that I had you guys write down, those are the things that you say to yourself when you are struggling with putting yourself out there, when you are worried, like wondering, am I going to get any sales? That's the kind of talk that you say to yourself. Um, because no, you've got to be your best cheerleader. Like you've got to have your back. And I was just talking to my son-in-law about this, how I was like, I used to focus. I'm a fixer. I like to let's fix it. Let's make it better. Let's move from like painful to like positive or whatever, right? And and so I did that with myself where I'm like, uh-oh, I saw a flaw. I gotta fix it. So I always felt broken. Gotta fix, fix, fix. It wasn't until I decided to be like, I'm gonna focus on what I'm good at and I'm gonna let go of the others. Like I'm just gonna ignore my flaws. I know what my flaws are. I bet you know what your weaknesses are too, right? Everybody typically knows those things, but I'm not gonna put my attention on that because what you focus on expands, right? And so do you want to focus on your dreams and expand your dreams, or do you want to focus on your doubts and expand your doubts? Like it's a magnifying glass. So whatever you focus on gets bigger. And I was like, I want to focus on my dreams. I want to focus on my strengths. If I focus on my strengths get bigger, they get better. And so when I finally started just being like, well, here's what I'm good at. I know I'm good at this or this or this. And it's like, yeah, I know I'm not so good at this. Like those things I know that. But if I focus on these things, then I'm going to get better at them. I'm going to have a higher vibration because I'm like, feel confident about myself. Then I'm going to get more results because people are drawn to that high energy, that high vibe, and I'm going to get more of the success that I want. So does anyone have that's my TED Talk on mindset, but it's so powerful. Like our thoughts are so powerful and it is a mindset roller coaster being an entrepreneur. Like as you know, I know you guys have been many of you have been entrepreneurs for years and it's so hard. And some days you're like, what am I? You're like, I'm done, I'm out. Some days you're like crying, like, what is going on? Other days we're comparing ourselves. Like, this girl's doing this. How is she doing that? Like, it's hard, but that's why we gotta BYOB, be our own bestie, and be like, you got this. Keep going. You can do this. Even if you don't have anything to lose, all those kind of um encouraging things. Does anyone have any thoughts they want to share in this regard?
I'll just say that one thing that has helped me a ton, two things really in mindset
Hmm.
is number one, it's a them problem, not a me problem. Like, there's not something I have to fix about myself. If someone else is judging me, if someone else, whether it's they're having a bad day, whether they've got some personal insecurity they're projecting on me, even if they truly believe something about me,
Hmm.
that's their issue. That's not my issue. So I have just stopped taking on the weight of other people's judgments and other people's opinions because if I can look myself in the mirror in the morning, that's really all that matters. Like it's that helped. And then the other, there was a trend on TikTok like a year ago
Uh-huh.
where women were very consciously pointing out the positive things happening in their day. And so I made a little song and it goes, everything goes my way, everything goes my way. So when I'm getting ready to like do a U-turn into that, part of the street that makes me nervous, like I'm going to get crushed every single time,
Yeah.
and I go, there's no traffic, I sing that song. And what you're supposed to do is like mentally note every time something positive happens in your life instead of mentally noting all the negatives. And
Yeah.
then all the positives, you see how many there are, and your brain actually retrains to look for the positive.
So
Singing
true.
that song, it's the dumbest thing, but when I get to the end of the day and I'm like, damn, I was singing that song all day. Like, that feels good, you know?
I love that song. We are all going to sing that song, Shelly. It's so good. That's really great advice. Love it, love it. And I think that, yeah, I mean, like I said, what you focus on expands. If you're looking for the good in your day, you'll find it. If you're looking for the bad, you'll find it, right? And so when I'm really struggling with my mindset, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like the transition of going from one company to another has been really hard. There's been a lot of feelings. It's been a huge like mental roller coaster for me, and I'm sure many of you. And so I've had to like keep a gratitude journal of just like little simple things that make me happy and that I notice in my day so that I can focus on that and not like, oh, but what about this? And that's not fair and whatever. So that I love that you shared that. Thank you so much, Shelly. And I want to share a couple, and I would actually love to hear all of your guys's too. I'm going to share a couple of thoughts that some of my favorite like affirmations that I don't necessarily like, I'm not like chanting them in my head all the time, but I think they're sort of like some of my go-to one-liners for when I am self-coaching myself, when I'm being my own bestie. And one of them, I used to have where did I put? I thought I had a whole list. But one of them was, I have one that is, I always get what I want. That one's very bold, but it's been pretty true in my life, and I believe it. I'm like, I always get what I want. And so typically I have to really, really want it because sometimes I'm like, do I want that? If I'm kind of want it, then I probably won't get it. But if I really want it, I'll get it. Another one is I'm doing my best and that's all I can do. That one I say all the time. I literally said it this morning because that's all you can do. You can only show up and do your best, right? And then like Shelly said, you can look in the mirror and be like, I did my best. So what else could I do, right? The other one is I'm not responsible for other people's feelings. Like kind of that goes with a little bit what Shelly's saying. Um, I'm trying to find more. Oh, it's okay to make mistakes while we're learning. I had a librarian in elementary school that taught us that. And I loved that because it's like we're always learning. Like I'm not the pro in business. I'm still learning stuff all the time. There's still new things to try and learn and, implement. So, um, that one has been a big one. I wish I made a whole list and now I can't find it in my notes. Anyway, do you guys have any that let's see. Denise said, I choose joy. That's a great one. Does anyone else? That's awesome. Anyone else have like some things they kind of say to themselves all the time to like, um,
I'll share.
yeah, let's hear it, Kathy.
I know this is, if I say this to myself, but it's just, I've been around this industry, 6 companies since 1998. And I just decided at some point along the journey, I really don't care what you think about me because this is my goal. This is what I want. You'll either like me or you're not like me, whether I'm doing this business or not. I have a style. This is who I am. These are my beliefs. This is my faith. This is my family. And you're either going to come along or you're not. So I really don't care. And I'm not going to give it a second thought. I'm just going to be me.
Yeah.
It's so freeing. It's so freeing because I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Because you're like, it's kind of like the whole let them. It's like, this is who I am. I'm just gonna, it's like, people are gonna judge you anyway. You might as well do what you want. You might as well be who you want, right? Denise said, we learn something new every day. Yeah, love that. And Kathy, that's a great mindset. It is very freeing when you're just like, whatever. And mine is like, your opinions don't pay my bills. Go ahead and unfollow me. Like if I just am like, I don't care if you unfollow me. Like it's fine. I think of social media as a place of business. If you don't want to see my business, that's fine. Bye. There's the door. It's when we make it mean something about us, when we attach our worth to it, that's when we get in trouble, right? And so you have to sort of detach and know that you are worthy, even if nobody buys from you, even if nobody joins you, even if, right? Because for me, the work is the win. I'm going to say that a lot to you guys. The work is the win. It's not the results. The work of trying, like trying to get people to join the Bloom and Bash, that's the win. The win is not if people do, it's that you showed up and you tried, right? Sorry.
Can I share one more thing for Danny? I don't know if you already do this. You may already do this. I love voice clips and video clips. So when I DM, all my magic happens in the DMs. You've heard that before.
Yeah.
It's never a type message. So if you're already doing that, great. But if you're not doing that, that's what I do.
That's a good point because you know what? People sometimes, they sometimes they'll see a glimpse of your message and won't even read the whole thing because they're like, she's asking for a sale. But if it's just a voice memo, they're like, what is this? I'm curious. They have to click the button to see what it is. And then they can hear your excitement and all that.
I actually really love voice memos too because I don't have to pre-think it. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I don't have to make sure all my words are right. I can just say it. Everybody's used to hearing me talk anyway. I find them so much easier than typing out the right words so that it sounds right, you know?
Yeah. And did you guys know that you can send yourself a voice memo and then forward it to people? Like if you need to message like 20 people at a time, send yourself a voice memo and then you like hover over it and click the forward button and then you can forward it to people. You have to kind of do it slow because you don't want to get in Facebook jail, so you don't want to forward it to like 10 people in 10 seconds, but I'll do like 5 and then I'll take a break, then I'll do 5 more and take a break. So that's kind of cool if you need to do some bulk messaging. Okay, we have like 10 minutes left, and I want to talk about the recruiting video that Colleen Richards did, or Nichols, Colleen Nichols. Yeah, that she did on recruiting. It was so good. I got so excited after I watched it. I was like, I'm excited to post on social media again. Like sometimes I think we should ourselves too much on social media and we're like, I got to do this rule and that rule and this, and there's too many rules. And then we're like, freeze, right? There's when we're like, uh-oh, I got to stay safe. If I can't do it perfect, I'm not going to do it at all. So then we just stay safe, which means we stay stuck. So I loved that she just encouraged us to like be a normal human and like just share everyday stuff with our people in our stories and on social media. What were some of your, I wish I was like listening so I to just the audio so I couldn't take notes and I wish I would have because it was so good. Did any of you guys take notes? What were some of your favorite parts? I want to hear from that specific. I posted the link in Shine Squad. If you missed it, just go watch it later. It's like 50 minutes. Go on a walk, listen in your car. But it
I'll
was
share.
incredible. Kathy, yeah.
So I loved how she broke down how successful she's been in stories and like all of her story strategies, and mainly the part about don't be Cleo corporate and just do Cleo, Cleo, Cleo. Like it just like so much ordinary stuff. And this is, I think I focused on this because this is my biggest challenge for myself right now is to get into my stories more than once in my life and like on video. And so she just does a fantastic job. Go watch it on everything you should and shouldn't be doing in stories. It was phenomenal for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she's just like, and I did it even, I've been like, okay, how would it, I think just trying to think like, if I was at a party, how would I talk about this? Like if I was with my friends, what would I say to them, you know? And like just making it more social and she literally has a book says don't that's called Don't Make It Weird. And that's exactly what we sometimes do. We make it weird by like being like too salesy, which is the opposite of what we want, right? So I was like, I need to get her book. Like, I don't know if she has the audio version because I just prefer audio over everything, but I just thought it was so good and so relatable and like it just got me again excited to like show up on social media again. I mean, I've been doing it, but like in a different way, I guess. Any other takeaways? No, I'm trying to remember some of the other things. She said so many good things, but that's how my memory works is if I don't write it down, it gone. That's why I need to listen to it again. Anyone else? All right, lots of people still need to finish listening or listen again. Clearly, I need to listen again. Um, she has like, so if you go in the virtual,
I have one real quick. She says,
Ooh.
don't say happy Monday, happy
Mm.
Tuesday. She goes, nobody needs to know what day of the week it is or to be happy. That is so lame. Don't ever say that again.
Yeah.
And I
I
also
know.
like that this is a request. I just need to make this to you at some point, Kelly. I get stumbled up because I literally don't know how to use any video program to do like a POV video.
Yeah.
She said, don't do your full nails, like do your nails, but then talk about Wicked. And I like, that is the one movie that I've ever in my life watched 3 times in 3 weeks. Like, so I could do that. But yeah, so I like those two things, like do your nails, but while you talk about something else engaging with, with the,
Yeah.
and also I just have no idea like what program to download to do like the little clips. Anyway, but if you could point me in the right direction on that.
Well, what if you did? I honestly, I don't want to recommend like CapCut because it's another $10. I would just do Instagram's editor. That's what I do. And it's pretty advanced now, not advanced, but it has a lot of features now. And so you can pretty much like make little videos within the Instagram editing. And so that's what I use. And then I'll save it as a draft too. But here's the other thing. You guys don't need to make reels. Like, yes, you can if you want to like level up, but I think a lot of people get stuck on the editing piece of reels and so they again don't show up on social media. I'm like, how about you just do a post? Do it on Instagram, have it go straight to Facebook and you're good. Because most of your people are on Facebook anyway, let's be honest. I get way more views, I get way more interaction on Facebook than I do on Instagram. because I think a lot of our generation are on Facebook, sorry. And so just keep it simple with like a picture and a caption, you know? We don't need to overthink it. I think everybody overthinks posts, and it's like just show an update or ask a question about their opinions, like she was saying. She's like, women love to share their opinions, which is so true. And she also said share other things, like share other purchase stuff. So if you buy something on Amazon, it just be like, oh my gosh, I just got this new, chapstick or whatever. And I love it. You know, there's things, and you talk about these things with your girlfriends, right? When you get together, you're like, have you tried this? Have you seen this? Those are the things that you can share in your stories too. All right. Well, I think we've had a good chat. I'm gonna do, shoot, I don't have my plug. I was gonna do, let me see. If I can find my plug, I'm gonna do some recognition. If not, we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, I found it. Okay. Here is my plug. Every Friday I'm going to be posting recognition, and the recognition is based on the beginning of the month until like Thursday night. So here is, and I'm just going to do it on my phone because that's just easier. Hold on. I'm going to share my screen. Share. Okay. Let's see. I'm actually going to show you guys something. Another thing about social media is, here's a picture I took of my nails and my and my outfit today. You can, if you're having a good hair day, take a whole bunch of pictures, take some video, and you don't have to post everything in real time, you guys. Not everything has to be real time. So sometimes I'll stockpile, good selfies, good nail fees, and use them later. It doesn't have to be right in that moment. All right, so here is the recognition for this week. We've got top 5 in sales. Win Clark, congratulations, 3,800. Teresa, Kathy at 2,980. Alyssa at 1,177, and Cindy at 1,073. Congrats. Top 5 enrollers win with 15. Mandy with 10. Cassie with 9. Kathy, I'm sorry, that's the wrong picture. Did you get 7?
Yeah, I did, but that's not me.
I'm sorry, that was a mess up. And then Ashley with 7. I will fix that. Top enrollers who got 2 or more is, we've got this whole list. I'll let you guys look at it. And top enrollers with 1. And then top new customers with 50 plus orders. We got Teresa with 17, Win with 11, Alyssa 7, Taylor 6, Joanna 5, Cassie 5, Mandy 4, Ashley 4, Chrislyn 4, Jackie 3, Marsha 3, Amy 3, Sherry 3, Sarah 3, Stacy 3, Sherry 3. That's amazing, you guys. And then all of these ladies have 2 orders of 50 or more and 1 order of 50 or more. So congratulations, everyone. Well done. So proud of you guys. Keep hustling. We got like a week or so left of the month. So let's make it an amazing month. Some of you guys are close to rank advancing. Some of you are close to getting your bold starts. So keep your eyes on those and keep hustling and keep your mindset high and positive so that you can be encouraged instead of discouraged. All right. Thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye.